Ba-bum, bum, 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 ba, 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 bum, bum, bum. Hello, everybody, and I hope you are keeping well. My name is Jay, and you're very welcome, of course, to this next stream. I know we're only getting out like one stream at the moment per week, but don't worry, once I'm back to Ireland, of course, as you know, I'll be able to pick up that pace exponentially. Let me move my microphone slightly away from me. It might be a bit too much. Digicon, hearing my breathing noises as I was softly testing the microphone positioning over on YouTube, pointing out that you can hear breathing noises. I was like, ch 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 ch. So if anyone else also was hearing noises like that, don't worry, there wasn't a ghost in your house. Well, there might be a ghost in your house, but it definitely wasn't the ghost making those noises. It was absolutely myself. So, chest carpet, I hope you're keeping well. Ahoy to you as well, Captain. Captain Chest Carpet. CCC, I like it. I like the alliteration in that. Also, to Ergo Kidra. Hello, my good man. Joe, hello, Jay, and his beautiful twin, says Joe. Hello, the twins do say hello. And Ito Hirashi as well, sending lots of love hearts my way as well on his first time. On his first time comment, which is always good. Digicun being like, sorry for being weird. I'm like, you're not weird, don't worry. And Chaos, welcome my good man. And big muscle flexing, thank you. As always, Chaos, for keeping sure that this channel keeps afloat with those lovely subscriptions. So big thank you for that, my good man, supporting as always. Now, unless something changes, everyone, I'm going to be home in Ireland. So this time next week, making once again pending no changes or nothing technical happens, I'll be back in my studio next week, and we'll be doing we'll be back to normal. We'll be able to game. We'll be able to do our browser stuff. We'll be able to have musics. We'll have all the lovely lighting and proper, everything. We won't have to worry about my laptop blowing up on me while I'm trying to stream, like pretty much now. And yeah, so we'll be completely back to form as well. So woohoo! But once again, that as always depends to make sure. Well, it depends on no changes. Digicun saying, hey Jay, finally caught your stream on time, which is good. It's good to see Digicun over on my lovely YouTube. Now I know I'm having syncing issues with YouTube where the chats aren't showing up on the main screen like my Twitch, but don't worry, that will be sorted when I'm back in Ireland. I've been trying to do it here, but it's just for some reason the key is just not seeming to sync for whatever goddamn reason. But we will have that fixed. Lanky Boy, your favourite lanky boyfriend is here. My favourite lanky boyfriend indeed. Welcome, Lanky Boy. I hope you're keeping well. Omega Hug. Giving the hugs from the Omegas. I hope my lovely friend in Orlando is keeping well. Terrific Terry, hey, saw you were live right before my boxing workout. Talk about motivation. Well, Terrific Terry, I hope you're going to have a good 1-2 knockout session there. Getting those arms, getting that power in, driving those knuckles towards that boxing bag or opponent, or maybe even the the thingies. The pads, that's the word. Pads, I can't even think of pads. Like my padding, guys, padded for the gods. I'm just rearranging my seat because it's annoying me. So I'm here. I'm a little bit red around my neck and stuff, just a slight little bit of sunburn, but that's my poor Irish skin in this weather. I don't have much of a tan at all because I really do not want to get burned badly, and I do get bits of burning when I'm here. But I do get out to the sun. I just don't I just try not to stay in it for too long because it's definitely a lot different. It's definitely a lot different from my local weather, what I'm used to. I looked great on the beach, says Chaos. Thank you very much. Now, if anyone didn't see me on the beach, then definitely check my Instagram, and you'll see me. You'll see me walking on the beach, do my little Pamela Anderson moment. You know, getting my Bond girl on. You know, I'm auditioning for the next Bond girl role. So, you know, but then again, maybe Bond will turn gay one day. I know that would be a huge change for his character, but maybe I'll just apply for the next Bond sidekick role. Like Halle Berry, the iconic. Well, Halle Berry wasn't the first person to do it in the Bond series by any means, but she was probably one of the more famous versions of the Bond girl coming out of the ocean. Yeah, Halle Berry did it fantastic, but she definitely wasn't the first, and I doubt she will be the last either. What the hell? What's wrong with my camera? Oh, my camera just decided. What's that? You can cancel this. I don't know. My camera just had a little bleep. Everything's back to normal with my camera. Just some weird bleep there. Oh, what's that? Start. Oh, I think. Do you know what? I think it's the lead is a little bit loose. I might have to go. If it happens again, I'm going to go over and just kind of stick it in harder, put it in nice and deep into the port. You know, you dirty cable. You want to go deep into that camera port, don't you? You dirty long cable. Yeah, you. You know how it is. I need a bear hug. Lanky boy, why do you need a bear hug? What's wrong? What's up with you? Is everything okay? But absolutely, I'll give you a bear hug. No problems at all, amigo. We will definitely give you a bear hug right now. Regardless of even if everything is fine, you know, bear hugs are one of those essential things in life. So come here, my lanky boyfriend. Fit in between the lovely caress of my chesticles and receive some nice hugs. Digicon on YouTube is saying James Bond featuring his Himbo sidekick. Fantastic. I think, you know, this should create some sort of gay... well, he doesn't have to be gay, but some sort of gay... not superhero, but some gay spy with his sidekick. You know, that'd be a bit different. I think the closest thing we got to that, there was... Oh, it keeps coming in and out. 1 second. I'm gonna make sure that cable is in correctly, because I think it's just a little bit loose, guys. I think that's what's happening. And that would explain why the camera wasn't properly charging last week when my camera just died on me. Let's hope that doesn't happen this time. Let's hope now that fixes it a little bit. But yeah, so yeah, let's hope that fixes it. If it goes off again, the cable might be just a bit loose, as I said. So I'll just make sure it's nice and tight in the hole. The cable, guys, the cable and the ports, you know. But Lanky boy, sorry for interrupting your hug there, my good man. Hopefully you're going to feel this hug, all the goodness, all the nice energy on its way to you. Let me know what's going on your way. Simply Deep over on YouTube is saying, "Sup Jay, you big stud and chat. I wouldn't mind getting a bear hug from you." Simply to Deep. You know you want that bear hug. You know you want that bear hug. So come and get that bear hug. Mega Hug is Mega Hug is keeping well, which is perfect. Mitz, what's Mitz? Mir says, also glad to have caught you. Been busy lately. Mir, welcome back. It's been a while. What's been keeping you busy, Mir? Testosterone, we cooking today or just being all muscly in the kitchen? Well, I was cooking. I'm not cooking right now, but I guess I'm just going to have to stick to the latter and be all muscly in the kitchen. Just get a bit of muscle in the kitchen. I have a little spot coming in down here. It's not, I don't know if it's a spot or I think it's a hair. I think it's a hair growing through a little bit wrong. That's why I like having a hairy body. I like having a hairy chest, a hairy torso. But sometimes, you'll have like this ingrown hair that just doesn't grow it doesn't grow quite right, and it actually upsets your skin. It irritates your skin, so it gets a little bit red. Now it could be a small spot, but it could also be a ingrown hair. It's kind of hard to tell, really. But regardless, it is definitely an issue that people with hair on their torso have to, you know, worry about from time to time. Pyro, welcome, my good man. I hope you're keeping well. All the love back to you as well, Pyro. Did you know, guys? Fun fact about Pyro Bro. Pyro Bro is the first subscriber on this channel. First subscriber, the founding member of this channel with his subscription. So big thank you as always, Pyro. And as mentioned, guys, you're very welcome today to this episode of Jay Cott's Talking Miami Chats, as we like to call it. This could be very well the final episode of the season of Miami Chats. Potentially. Unless something happens. And what that means is that this could be the last stream in Miami until I return home to Ireland to my studio. I am set to leave Miami this weekend in literally only a few days' time. And by the time I get home, get set up again with everything, and hopefully the jet lag will be gone, then I'll be able to stream properly from now on again on Wednesday or so. Unless something changes in the meantime, so there is always that possibility as well. But either way, very soon I'm going to be back in my studio. If it's not this week coming, it'll be the following week. I do have an open ticket, which allows me that if I do want to stay just a little bit longer, I absolutely can with no penalty. But the longer I am away from home means the longer I'm not being able to make the content that I want to make. I'm not able to give the stream quality that I like to make because I can't put as much pressure on my laptop like I'm doing right now. I can't make the YouTube videos that I want to make. I have lots of content ready to pump out. I just have to be able to get home and be able to do it on my desktop computer. So yeah, we just have to get it all back and going. So where I'm coming from with this is that if you've ever been to Miami, it is very expensive. And if you haven't been here for a while, it has got more expensive. And it'd be probably very comparable to places like New York, probably LA, maybe a bit cheaper than those areas, but very, very pricey indeed. So the longer I stay here, obviously, the more it affects my bank balance, and also paying rent back in Ireland and paying my apartment. It's it's a lot of money. It's a lot of money coming out all the time, and we need that YouTube monies. We need those YouTube monies coming back in, absolutely, and our stream monies and all the monies. We need all the monies. All the manies. Testosterone says, why not be Bond yourself and make him gay? That's a very good point, Testosterone. Why not be James Bond? My real name is Jamie, okay? For people who don't know. A lot of people, of course, know that. But J for short. So why not Jamie Bond? We can make it our own thing. Adam Grenier over on YouTube. Hey Jay, you are looking fantastic. Adam, thank you very much for that, my good man. Much appreciated. Ross Annam also over on YouTube. Hi Jay, hi to you as well, Ross. Is it Ross or Roche? Or Roche? Roche. Sorry if I'm mispronouncing your name, Roris. But yeah. Let's see. Lanky boy, you ever thought about playing a seductive, charismatic, should I say, gay villain? Have I ever thought about being a charismatic gay villain? Maybe I already am. I'm just going to stroke my cat right now. While stroking my white cat, as the Bond villains would have, absolutely. So why can I not be a charismatic gay villain? You know, why not? Why not? Like, to be honest, if I was to play, if I could, if I was an actor, I would most likely choose to play the villain. I think that role seems to be the more fun role. You can definitely open up the villain a lot more than lots of the heroes. Lots of the heroes are kind of, you know, it depends on how what the hero is and who the hero is, but lots of the heroes are kind of set on that good path, that good boy or good girl path kind of thing. So with the villain, you could definitely be a bit more, you know, you can definitely shape the villain a little bit more how you might want your take as an actor. So I think, you know, you can either make the villain a bit more flamboyant, a bit more theatrical, a bit more, you know, mischievous or, you know, devious or anything like that. It really depends, or maybe a bit psychotic or something. So I think the villain role has definitely a better range, but I guess it will depend at the end of the day. The best take for the character will be based on their background, on the plot itself, like any lore, you know, surrounding that potential villain, and then you probably would have a good idea. Okay, this is how I want to roll with this character. Now, very possibly the director would probably already have an idea how how they would like the role to be played, but I'm sure the actor, you know, can definitely put their own little spin on it. It's their own nuances onto it. So I think, like, how many other people would like to be the villain? Like, if you were an actor, would you like to be the hero or the villain, and why? That would be a good one to ask the chat right now. So would you rather be the hero or the villain if you were cast in a movie or a series? And let me know why. So personally, I think I would like to be the villain. Definitely a role that has always, you know, kind of struck me more. You know what? I generally, there's been plenty of movies I have watched where I really wanted the villain to win. Sometimes they do. The villain doesn't always lose. Sometimes the villain does win, but generally it's a temporary win. So usually if there's like a part one, part two kind of thing, maybe the villain wins in the first part, and then the hero or heroes, or whatever the case may be, the protagonist might win then in part two or something like that. Like a very good example, for example, would be the Avengers. And that would be Infinity War and Endgame, where Thanos, spoiler warning people, if you have not seen the Avengers and it's years out by now, please just close your ears for about 15 to 20 seconds, okay? You have been warned, spoiler time. But in Infinity War, for example, Thanos wins at the end of that movie, and he gets his, you know, infamous snap moment with the glove, and it raises 50% of the population, including a lot of the superheroes at the time, which it was a huge moment. Like, I did not see that coming. I thought at the very end, you know, that's what's I didn't know it was going to be a two-parter. I don't know if anyone did. I have no idea. But you know, when I just saw him winning, I was like, what the fuck? You know, I thought it right at that moment when the superheroes were all kind of ganging up on him, they would have won. But oh, and then of course in Endgame they won in the end. So yeah, there we go. So there's been lots of times where I actually have rooted for the villain. Now they might not be a typical villain per se, but definitely some sort of antagonist to the protagonist. Like, not every story, I guess you could call them the villain, but they're not like, they're not necessarily evil. They're just, you know, they're just in the protagonist's way for whatever story is being told, you know. They don't all have to be this evil, take over the world, want to, you know, whatever the case may be, enslave all mankind, yada yada. Ergo Kidra says, gay spy with a sidekick. Well, Well, it looks like a little bit of Batman and Robin. Yeah, ergo, you could be very right with that. You could definitely be very right with that, ergo. You know, like a gay spy with a sidekick, it could definitely be back with the whole Batman and Robin. You know, a lot of people always assumed that Robin was gay. So it's plausible. It's plausible. You know, and you know, Batman likes his nice tight gear. You know, you never know what's going on there. Testosterone says, "Yeah, I'm dealing with a few of those lately." Mir, I have actually been busy working out. Kind of hate it, but I can't be like you if I don't. Oh, I can't have pecs like yours if I don't. Well, Mir, at least working out is definitely a good excuse to miss a stream. And the main thing, guys, is if you do miss any of my streams, the great thing is they're all saved over on YouTube. So that's the fantastic thing about YouTube. And also there was a poll put in right now by our lovely moderators, and it seems that everyone from 67% of the audience who have voted would prefer to be the villain, which is interesting. John Blake, nice to see you as well. And just a couple of lines behind on the chat as I'm looking at YouTube and on Twitch, of course, at the same time. So let me know, if you were cast in a movie or series, would you prefer to be the villain or would you prefer to be the hero? And let me know why. Is there a particular reason why you'd like to be either one? John Blake says, Jamie, oh my god, is so cute. John Blake liking my name. Not just the short version of my name, but my actual name, which is always, of course, good to know. Adam says, being an anti-hero would be interesting too. An anti-hero, yes, there's anti-heroes definitely have been a lot more popular, I think. Have been a lot more popularized in recent years. There's some really good anti-heroes out there. You could even look at, just to think of an example, you could even think of Deadpool. Deadpool would be a really good example of an anti-hero. You know, does anyone have any famous anti-heroes that they like or admire or anything like that? But yeah, an anti-hero, that's actually something I didn't think about with the villain or hero role. But you could be an anti-hero, definitely another version of a hero. Digikun says, cynical as I am, I like being a hero. Even as a villain, my plots would be a Lupin type villain where I'd only steal priceless stuff from rich assholes. Okay, so you could be a little bit of a Robin Hood. Now, if people don't know who Robin Hood is is famous in English storybooks, the fairy tales and stuff, that he used to rob from the rich to give to the poor. So pretty much the people who had a lot, he used to take it from them and then give it to those who did not have much. So in the eyes of the law, he would be a villain. But to all the poor people, and of course to the rich who he's stealing from, yes, it's wrong. Stealing is wrong, yes. But it's definitely like a gray area, because he's ultimately doing it for a good reason. Yes, stealing is wrong, so yes, the book will be thrown at him either way. But the purpose of why Robin Hood is stealing from the rich is to give it to those who are less fortunate, who don't have anything. Maybe that's because of the system, which definitely it was back then. You know, the kings would have all the royalty, etc., would have all the best stuff, and then the poor people, the peasants, and those who would work on the farms and cleaning and stuff, they'd be given nothing, and they're working extremely hard. It's just how the system was. The system favored one way, and that was the royals back then. So Robin Hood, you know, famously stole from the rich and gave it to the poor. So in the eyes of the poor, he's a hero. In the eyes of the rich and in the eyes of the law, he's a villain. So what is he? So I would say that Robin Hood would be definitely a interesting kind of, maybe an anti-hero. I guess he would fit that archetype to an extent. Let me know what you think. Baltimore Pisces. Baltimore, how you keeping, my lovely Pisces in Baltimore? John Blake, wait, what? Do we have a piercing? What you, John, John Blake, Mr. John Blake, have you seriously been watching me for all these months and only noticed now I have a piercing? Okay, I think John's eyes were not looking properly at my face. I think they've been more located down here. Now, personally, that to me, that's not a bad thing. I'm still getting the view. I don't mind. You make your choice. You can either look here, here, or maybe if you can, do this with your eyes, that one goes up here and one goes down there, kind of thing. Then you get the best of both worlds at the same time. So why not? Why not? Why not? No, it's not new at all, my good man. It's not new. Ryan TGW, big muscle flexing. Welcome to you, Ryan. Thank you for pressing the follow button. And also, I just missed that actually because I was talking about villains and heroes. Also to Vandy, Mr. Vandy, when did I hit 15 months? Well, I guess now. Mr. Vandy, big muscle flexing. Thank you, as always, for supporting the channel with that lovely subscription. So thank you so much for helping to keep the lights on. Well, you might not be supporting keeping the lights on right here where I am now, but definitely when I go back to Ireland, your subscription will definitely be needed to keep my electricity bill intact. So thank you so much for that subscription and keeping the channel going. So once again, guys, if you are new to this channel, you are very, very welcome. My name is Jay, and you are watching me live from Miami, but soon we will be back, very soon, in the next week or two, we'll be back live in Dublin, in Ireland, where I live, back in my studio, where we will have all the lighting, we'll have the music, we'll have the gaming, we'll have all the browser games, we'll have all that interactivity that people do love and enjoy on the streams. And I'll be able to have my multiple screens set up back. But of course, since I am traveling at the moment, I'm pretty much confined to a camera. I do have my microphone, as you can see, it's actually in the shot this time, and I do have a laptop. But with the laptop, unfortunately, if you do anything more than just stream on your laptop, it will blow up. Depending on the type of laptop. If you have a gaming laptop, it might just be able to do it. But other than that, yeah, good luck. Good luck. John Blake says, a seductive psychotic villain. That sounds hot, says John. Lord Grumble says, I'm a pretty man. Pretty man. Well, thank you very much. Lanky Boy says, you do look like you would play a great seductive psychotic villain. Interesting. How am I going to seduce people? I think I have my ways, guys. We call it Twitter. We also call it streaming, I guess, too. But yeah, Twitter definitely is can be quite seductive. Feel free to check out my Twitter, but I will not be responsible for what may happen in your head or in other areas as a result. Alex says, hello, Jay. Alex, big hello to you. I hope you're keeping well. Chaos says, villains do have way more fun. They seem to. Villains seem to have that really fun moment, and they also get to boss around all their minions as such. Go do this, go do that. And then, there's lots of shouting involved and things. Generally as a villain. Lots of ordering around. Lanky Boy says, I meant I'll play as a petty criminal con artist, but at the end of the day, I'll still do the right thing on the movie. Okay, so you're going to be a bit of both. So you're going to be a criminal con artist, but at the end of the day, you will be on the right side of things. Okay. Lord Grumble says, great question. I would try to do both. Lord Grumbles, you're going to try and be both the hero and the villain at the same time? I guess that is possible. Like in the event, once again, of that example of where I said Robin Hood, for example, like he is the hero to the poor, but he is the villain to the rich. So I guess there is that. Like it is definitely a cause and effect situation, right? Amir says, I'd like to be the background cast member people catch for 2 seconds but fall in love with. Okay. Mir wants to take a bit more of a bit more of a silent role. He wants to be one of the background people. Okay, that's definitely interesting. Lanky Boy says he wants to be kind of like the Joker from, well, the Joker movie back in 2019. Okay, yeah. See, the Joker's a really good movie. That's a really good example because the Joker, he wasn't inherently evil. Yes, he had a bit of a he had a warped mind, which definitely grew and grew in its psychoticness. But he wasn't always that way, as in a bad guy. He loved his mother. He wanted his mother, he wanted just to earn a living. People were laughing at him, shoving him, bullying him all his life, and yeah, just making fun of him because he didn't fit in. A lot of people could relate to the Joker, especially in the earlier years of his life. Of course, with his mental health and stuff, that progressed into more psychotic episodes. And as we all know, the Joker famously to this day will be, well, psychotic, I guess would be the word. Venom would be a good anti-hero. Venom would be a very recent example of an anti-hero. When it came to Spider-Man versus Venom, Venom would have definitely been the villain. But now, when it's just the Venom only movies, excuse me, he is he's fighting to also help as well. So yeah, Venom would be a bit of would definitely be a bit of an anti hero as well. Lanky Boy, I'll play as an intelligent okay. Lanky Boy keeps adding on to what he wants in his role. So he wants to play as an intelligent, petty criminal con artist, but at the end of the day, I'll still do the right thing. Okay, so this time you're adding on that your character would be intelligent. Who is actually poor. Okay, so hence that's why he's a con artist, because he needs to grift people to try and get that money because he is poor, right? So you're developing your character's backstory all as we go right now. John Blake says he would like to be the hero. So if you're just joining in, guys, the question is: would you rather be the villain or the hero in a movie or series, and why? Why would you like to be the hero or the villain, or even an anti-hero, as that's come up in the chat as well. So John Blake says, I think that villains reach a point where they have to exceed their limits of evil. So I would prefer to be the hero with defined standards. Okay, that's very sensible. That's very sensible, John. Ryan, how's everybody doing? We are doing well, my good man. We are doing well. Welcome once again for joining in on the chat. And Ryan, if you're still here, my good man, would you rather be the hero or villain, and why? Lanky Boy, okay, Lanky Boy's going on. Lanky Boy is now furthering on what he wants from his role. So he wants to play as an intelligent, petty criminal con artist, but at the end of the day, will still do the right thing on the movie, who is poor. That's just what I'll go with. Okay, alright, so we are pretty much, you pretty much defined the basic premise of your character. Okay, like, see, so your character is definitely morally grey, because he's not evil as such because he's a con artist. He's doing bad things by stealing people's money, but in a way, aren't we all being conned out of our money in one way or another with all the things that are around us? But he's doing it, of course, because he's poor and he needs a means to live. It's like those famous examples that if your family was starving, okay, and you maybe were too, you were really poor, maybe you didn't have jobs, would you steal a loaf of bread to feed your starving family? Like, is that wrong? Yes and no. Yes, it is wrong because you're stealing, which is against the law, and plus you're robbing the livelihood of, let's say, the baker who made that bread or the shopkeeper who's selling that bread. But at the same time, you're being good because you're helping your family. So there's a morally grey character right there. Definitely very interesting when you examine. I find those characters to be a lot more interesting than those who are inherently good or inherently evil. Like you have the, like I know it works when it needs to work, that you have the villain who is just evil. He's just maniacally evil just for evil's sake. Like he's just like mustache twirlingly evil, you know. I want everyone dead. I want to take over the world. You know, that typical villain. And then you have that morally good character, always good. The your typical kind of superhero, like Superman and stuff like that. Now, I know they kind of developed Superman a little bit more over the years, so he wasn't always good. But in essence, Superman is that he's like that superhero everyone who's good would look up to. They want to be that Superman, you know. But Superman to me is boring because he's just good and that's it. That's who he is. He'll do good things. Whereas I much prefer when I'm reading about a character or watching a character that's grey. They're not necessarily good or evil. They're just more relatable, because I don't believe anyone is inherently good or inherently evil. That happens due to circumstance. So that could be your environment, that can be your upbringing, that you know, whatever you're believing in, yada yada yada. But I don't think anyone is 100% good or 100% evil. You know, we will do, if we were pushed to our absolute breaking point, to our limits, like what would we do? I'm sure none of us here know ourselves as much as we think we do until we're pushed into a position where that part of you that you may not have known existed, or you never, yeah, you know, that will come out. So if you are backed into a corner, everything's against you, you have like nothing to live for, everything in life is crumbling down around you, what would you do? You might be like, oh yeah, this is what I do. But until you're actually in that position, you might not know exactly what you do. That is your true test of your character. That is those are those defining moments. How you get out of that situation is your story. That's your testament. That's going to be a sign of your growth, what you've learned, all your experiences. But then again, we might have all these experiences that may have helped us and be like, okay, this is what you should do. But maybe you might not be able to follow this book, for example, of what you should do, because you're in this position and you've never been in it before, you know? So it is interesting. It is interesting. And then again, like, you know, we might know our best and closest friends or family members. We might know them, be like, I know how you think. I know how you react. I know how you act. Like, that's why sometimes you can get under their skin. You know better than anyone how to get under their skin because you know them. But you never truly know someone until they go through all these different experiences in their life, right? People can surprise you. People can change for whatever reasons. Maybe for the better, maybe for the worse. Just how it is. So that's why. So looping back, that's why I prefer that morally grey character in stories. So not inherently good, not inherently evil, just relatable, being a human, even if they're not a human in the story, but make them human. Like, we could all, like, even if a character was a goddamn frog, like a frog person or a crab person, crab people, South Park reference, gotta love it. But even if, like, we can still relate to all these like fictional creatures, because writers, well, good writers, big difference. Good writers will make them relatable and help us relate to them. So that's why we might find ourselves rooting for this frogman or crabman or whatever, rather than the humans in the story. Because they might actually turn out to be the more human, with the most relatable elements to them. So yeah. John Blake says, I will not defend what you said. I have to admit that my attention is directed to other things. But yeah, it's not the first time I'll see this. It looks great on you. Twitter. Yeah, everyone knows Twitter, and my most latest tweet on Twitter. It's a big one. It's a big one. Trust me, guys. As I said, if you're going to go on my Twitter, brace your eyes for it, because they might not be ready for what they will see on my most recent Twitter post. John Blake says, re-heroes, we have Hulk, and villain, Jay, we have Twitter. That's true. Like, a lot of people could say that Twitter is a bit of a villain. Like, when it comes to that social media sphere, like, Twitter can be a bit of an outlier in being seen as the most garbage or the most villainous, or it may be the most toxic. Now, that might not necessarily be true. I'm just saying that's what generally it seems like, the Twitter space. Every social media that has been developed has its place, okay, so far. And the thing is that you might not think of it this way, but it's so true. That MMOs, so who here has played an MMORPG in the past? Now, I fucking love a good MMO. Okay, I used to be addicted to MMOs growing up. I don't play them as much nowadays because they're really time consuming. But realistically, MMOs were the original chat rooms, social media. Because you'd have your player avatar, okay, whatever character you make in this fictional world, and think back to the old days of RuneScape, for example, or else even in the early days of World of Warcraft, EVE Online, all these type of different MMOs. And you have your character, you're leveling up, you're going fighting all these bigger bosses, going into raids, dungeons, you name it. But the only way back in the day to do these type of things was to be in a group of people where you communicated. So you were chatting in a chat room as such because you were in a chat in the game. And a huge part of the MMO experience has been lost over the years because, well, social media or outside communications, or the biggest example would be that developers have taken the necessity that you need to talk to a lot of people out of their game. They may have certain content that it is required or preferred, but a lot of it can be either done with NPC characters taking the positions of real players. It could be a single player type MMO experience like Final Fantasy XIV, for example. Lots of Guild Wars 2 type stuff. Even a lot of World of Warcraft stuff can be done solo. It could be based like that, but then lots of modern day tools like looking for group, looking for raid, like all these like instant queue up mechanisms got rid of a lot of the conversation. So MMOs in a way died in their social aspects because you don't need to talk to people as much as you did need to like 20 years ago, for example, or thereabouts. So in the pursuit of looking for convenience, games such as the MMO have lost that social experience, which ultimately has destroyed a lot of that bond, that feeling of belonging in this world with all your friends, for example. So if you are an MMO, I'm very sure you definitely can see what I'm talking about here. So they were the original chat rooms. Like, we're not talking about MSN chat now and all that back in the day, or Yahoo Messenger and all this stuff. We're not talking about those chat rooms, although they are chat rooms, or maybe something like Cam4 or something like that. But you know, you could definitely, like, look at like Facebook and other companies all rushing to this metaverse, being like, the metaverse, this is going to be the first time we're going to be able to interact online in a virtual space. It's going to be fucking amazing. We've never had this before. It's like, guys, have you ever played an MMORPG? You literally create your character, who is you. You play the game in a fictional virtual world with other people. That is the original goddamn idea behind it. So your new version of it, well, it's definitely a newer concept, but it's definitely not original. So you're spending billions and billions and billions on this virtual reality technology, which is impressive. Don't get me wrong, it's impressive, but you're definitely not the first to it. People have been doing this since the goddamn 80s. You know, so this is definitely a development. DC 69 says, "Daddy?" Question mark. A lot of, you know what? A lot of people get recommended by Twitch to come onto this channel, and then they just see a guy here with his tits out, of course, on chat, as I like to do. I love my tits. Sue me. And they're just like, I don't know what to think right now. Daddy? It's like, Daddy? Did I find Daddy? It's always cute. It's always cute when that stuff happens. Oh my god, is my laptop not charging properly again? Damn you, laptop, why are you so annoying? Oh, let me see if I can get this sorted. Like, see, the thing is until the battery tells me that it's going to die soon, I don't notice that the battery's charging or not. But whatever reason, the socket here is just a little bit loose when I'm streaming in this area. And it's just a bit inconvenient. It's just a bit inconvenient because the problem is if the battery drops too low, then the stream quality is going to take a massive dip because the laptop wants to focus on what needs to go versus not go. Okay, let me try this again. The old blowing a cartridge like back in the Nintendo 64 days going... I still do that with literally everything. The Nintendo has corrupted my fragile little mind. Well, it's no longer fragile and it's no longer little. I've grown to be a big boy. Oh, come on, you stupid piece of shit. Work. Work, 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 work. Everybody, na, 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 na. Okay, it's just not accepting this cable for some reason. Oh wait, I might have got it. It's literally the most... Did you ever like have a plug or a cable that is so loose that you have to be like meticulous in how you plan it or how you position it for it to work? And if you move, even if the breeze just slightly moves it, it goes off. Yeah, that's literally what I'm working with right now with my battery charger. And it's not that the charger's broken or anything, it's the adapter that converts my 3 plug into an American 2 plug. That's what's the funky thing. So there we go. Too Curious Millennium. Hey Jay and chat, I'm doing good, Jay. How about you? Too Curious, I'm doing well. Going on my nice little spiels, how everything connects in the streams as always. Just, you know, I go from one story to another story to another story. But I'm doing well, my good friend. I hope you're keeping well as well. Digicun, I was just about to read what you wrote on YouTube and now I can't for some reason. I think you deleted it. You did say the last thing that I do see from you, Digicun, is well, there's also the super unnecessary grim real world movie Supermans. Yeah, well, there is that. We call them Twittermans, because they only live on Twitter, or that's what lots of us believe. JDD says, I hate too many people to be a hero. Villain is the right path. That's what JDD says. Guys, the big question at the moment is if you want to take part, is would you rather be the villain or a hero if you were cast in a movie or series, and let me know the reason why. Outside of that, I'm just going on about lots of different things. Maybe you want to be an anti-hero like Deadpool, Venom, etc. Maybe a little bit of Robin Hood. Digi comes back on YouTube. He's saying, I was going on a whole spiel about Final Fantasy 14, but thinking about it, it wasn't completely accurate. okay, that makes sense. That makes sense. Ergo Kidra says, like Diane in BoJack Horseman. You know what? I only watched a couple of episodes of BoJack. I always enjoyed it just enough to be mildly entertained, but I never got into it being I can't wait for the next episode. But I've been mildly entertained by BoJack Horseman. There's no good guy or bad guy. We're human. Sometimes we do good things, and some times we do bad things. The best we can do is more of the good stuff and less of the bad stuff. Ergo, completely agreed with you. Chaos says actions are good or evil, intentions to people are complicated. Welcome to the human condition, my good man. Tyler Garcia says, could you do me a favor and tell my friend Adrian to stop skipping the gym and stay motivated, please? Adrian, if you want to get lovely big boobies like me, if you want to get nice big arms and impress the ladies or the men or whatever you like in your life, listen to your good friend Tyler Garcia and stop skipping the gym. And trust me, do not skip legs day either. That's just as bad. Okay. So Tyler, I hope that caught his attention anyway. Only getting around to that there, so thank you very much for that. And thank you for the bits as well. Mir says, I must sadly go work out, so can I request a pec bounce for inspiration? Of course, we actually have 2 flexes in the channel points right now. So Mir, let me do that for you. And Vic also wants me to pump the flexi guns as well. So I'll do those back to back for both of you. So if you have me in the background, guys, now is always a good time to look at your screen because we are going bouncing some boobies. We're going bouncing those lovely. These are huge. These are huge. This camera that I have here, how I'm sat, does not represent the hugeness of my boobs. If you want to see the hugeness of my boobs, I recommend checking out my Twitter. It's so true. In person, when you see me in person, people are like, they're not the biggest things in the world, but it's just they are bigger than you think. So yeah, there we go. And also getting in those lovely flexes for Vic as well. Getting in those flexes. Rawr. Gotta get in those flex. Gotta get in the flex. Yeah. Dum dum bum 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 bum. So there we go. Yeah, my chest takes up takes up it all. Takes it all up. Digicon says, in terms of how Final Fantasy 14 was basically designed as a life simulator at first. Well, MMOs in a way kind of are designed as a life simulator just due to the fact that they were originally based on the premise of you connecting with other people online like a big social media nowadays. So in a way, the death of MMOs is thanks to social media, because people have a new way of interacting. Now, social media mightn't be each to their own. I would much rather chat to a bunch of strangers on a game than talk to people on Instagram, Twitter, you name it. I would much rather talk to people in that social media space, in that chat room type space. But that's me, because I'm an old school gamer. I love gaming. I'm a huge gamer. I play games as often as I realistically can, and that's where you're going to catch more of that, not only on my YouTube, but also when I'm back in Ireland and I'm in my studio, and I'll be able to do, I'll be able to play games again. So I can't wait, because I want to play Elden Ring for you lovely people, front and center. I want to do a new game, or maybe even a new game plus, and go from there. So, the most annoying thing is that Elden Ring came out 1 week before I had to go on my holiday, and I've been away for quite a while. Now, I did manage to finish Elden Ring, and not only did I finish it, I also platinumed trophy